is in the house.
Right. Mr. Bill Cody, thanks for joining us, Bill.
Man, thanks for the opportunity to sit down and catch up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Do you have a Silver Oak endorsement yet?
I wish. I definitely asked for it. They were very generous for a few bottles for the band.
I was just thinking about the milestones you and I have shared on this stage, the opera stage in this building. I was here the night you did 5 more minutes for the very first time. And then the next morning, you thought, what in the world have I done? I'm all over the internet. Why?
Yeah, I thought I had screwed up, and I was like, what did I do? But yeah, the opera was generous enough to put it out on YouTube, and it just blew up. And I was like, wow, we got something here. So all of this kind of started right here at the Opera House. So, yeah.
And then back at Christmas of 2023, I was backstage. Garth Brooks was back there, and he came out and gave you a Christmas gift.
He sure did. Yeah, nobody told me Garth was going to be there that night. I thought I was going to sing Jingle Bells and be in bed by 9. That was just a couple nights right there that I will never forget. Absolutely.
And then by 2024, or April 20th, 2024, I believe, is your induction date. And Josh Turner.
Absolutely.
And Granny Travis.
Yes. That's
Not this guy.
Those are my heroes. Yeah, we did a private gig last night, and the lady that opened for us played a few songs, and she said, "Can you sign my guitar?" And she had Josh sign it. I said, "I see you got Josh signed it already." She's like, "Yeah, I did a show with him." And I said, "He signed my guitar before I ever did American Idol or ever did any of this." So I'll always remember that signature. So pretty cool all these years later.
And you were singing him on Idol too.
Yeah,
You covered
absolutely.
him in some of those performances.
Absolutely. I was going, I don't know why, but I was looking for an old email or something from Idol or something. So last night, actually, I was looking at like 2011 emails, and I got an email from Josh saying congratulations. I don't know how I got my email, but he did. And then, another email I found was Kenny Rogers sent me an email. I had totally forgotten that, but he sent it from his wife's email. And he was like, "We're in South America, and I don't have my computer." But he said, "I think she believes in me" on the show. And he said, "Can we just have a mutual agreement that you will not sing any of my songs again? Because he sounded too good."
He was a great encourager, Kenny.
Yeah, I like to reminisce. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is special. So introduce the band off the top, if you would, today.
Well, I'm sure y'all all know these guys. They've been with me a long time. But Mr. Spence Pepper over here on lead guitar from Nacogdoches, Texas. Got Mr. Nathan Thomas from Asheville, North Carolina on the bass. Joey Sanchez from, we'll say Colorado, Denver, Colorado, Seattle. Justin Ward from Manitoulin Island, Ontario, on steel guitar. And Jeff Harper from Birmingham, Alabama.
Rise and Fall.
Yes, sir.
Followed with Bottle Rockets.
Yeah.
Which has blown up with Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius Rucker, fellow Opry member. And I'm thinking, you mentioned Idol, this is a good time to talk about it. In 2011, would you have ever dreamed that certainly that you would be an American Idol, then that you would win it, and your runner-up would become a fellow classmate and Opry member.
Absolutely.
In Lauren Elena.
I mean, both of our dreams came true, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. We met the very first day of Hollywood. Me and Lauren were standing in line together. So we didn't know each other, but we were just chatting. And I quickly understood how big of a personality she had, and then I quickly heard how just amazing her voice was and what a talent she was. So both of our dreams came true right here at the Grand Ole Opry. So yeah.
And would you guys, that would have been your first appearance on the Opry, would have been off Idol, they had you guys on the show or something?
I think my debut was June 10th, I think, of 2011, 2011. We came pretty much straight from the show. My first experience with Nashville was was CMA Fest, and I was like, "Oh, this place is nuts." But then I came back and was like, "Oh, it's a lot more chill." So,
Did you ever come as a fan to Fanfare back in the day before it became CMA Music Festival?
My first trip, the only trip I went to Nashville before that was a mission trip with the church, and we were re-roofing houses and stuff. So that was down in the West Nashville area. So, but never as a fan. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So tell me about Bottle Rockets and how it all came together. It's just an extraordinary, fun song.
Thank you. Y'all liking the new tune? Yeah. Awesome. This is, I can say it's the first tune on a new project that I'd be looking out for later this year, with some different flavors on it. You know, the label asked me to do an off-cycle thing and write some different kind of stuff. So it's still me, but I think you're gonna enjoy some of the stuff. But Bottle Rockets was just a tune we were trying to think of different cool things and talking about soundtracks of the summers and all that. And I mentioned Hootie because growing up, I love Hootie. I think a lot of us do. But, the Carolinas, they're like royalty,
Oh yeah. Well, you and I were talking now. That album, Cracked Rear View.
Oh man, yeah.
It was 22 times platinum.
I know, yeah. Which I was telling them, one of my favorite Darius stories is
this is great.
He had Hootie and the Blowfish had a show in Raleigh before the Hurricanes had an outdoor game. So me and Gibby went over and we were just hanging on his bus chilling, and he was picking up the tab for dinner or something, and I said, well, Darius, I'll pick up the tab when I have a diamond record one day. And he just kind of looks at me and under his breath goes, double diamond. It's pretty great.
So, how did you decide, and that connection came about to get him to actually get the band back together, if you will, and sing on it as Hootie and the Blowfish?
Yeah, so I mean, we wrote the song with them in mind, obviously, and we do it live right now with just me, and that's how it works that way. But it would be so cool if we could get the whole gang to do it. So once we worked it up and had the demo ready, about a week later, I hit them up and said, hey man, we wrote the song. Let me know what you think. We would, if you have time, and we'd love to have you on it. And he got right back and said, oh my gosh, I love it. And he said, let me hit the other guys up, and all the other guys in the band loved it. And I was nervous to ask. We're friends, but it's like, that's business, Yeah. I know that's got to be one of his babies too. Like 5 More Minutes is my baby. I Hold My Hand was their first single. But they loved it, and we didn't want to sample it. They all got back in the studio. They recorded it.
I think that's one of the coolest things.
I know. I love it. And there's different notes that they hit. And they add their own new flair after singing it for so long. It really turned out better than I could have imagined. So yeah.
Cabin of Solo, which you opened with today.
Yeah.
We were a writing retreat in Carolina Mountains or something.
Yeah, that's my new favorite way to write songs is to go somewhere and kind of turn off the business side of things. You sit there, you're just hanging out with buddies. Really, you just have your guitars with you, so you're writing songs as you go throughout the day. And we start ideas before we go on the retreat, so we can really be productive. Mm-hmm. And Cap was one of those. And man, it when we first started talking about the title, because the title idea was Brent Anderson's, and he told me, and I said, what? What does Cabin of Solo mean? But then we started talking it through. I was like, oh yeah, but that's country music. I love a twist of words, and you think you know what something means, but then you don't once the hook comes in. So I fell in love with that song as we were writing it, and then once we finished it out in the studio, I was like, man, that is country music to me. So.
It's like that resurgence of 90s country.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like the music of that time period and what you would have grown up listening to.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's why it felt, so authentic to me, and I didn't have to try or to do anything. That song just felt natural, so yeah.
Well, Scotty and I are going to visit along the way. He's going to play. We'll get some questions from you guys in the audience as well. So what do you want to do next?
Yep. Y'all have questions, or you want to think about it and then we sing one more and then do that? Is that good? Yeah. Y'all think? I'll sing. Everybody. Yeah, we'll do Bottle Rock.